Just in, Her Royal Highness Princess Leonor honored by presidents, kings with her new crown. Royal events feel familiar. Then something extraordinary breaks through. Princess Leonor, crowned, honored by presidents and kings. The real story no one expected. She stepped into the chamber under crystal chandeliers, her posture straight, her gaze steady. Immediately, you sensed the gravity. The air was charged with history. Yet beneath that, a quiet tension. This was not merely ceremony, it was transformation. From the very first moments, the value revealed itself. The king of a neighboring country approached her, bowed deeply, and placed a medallion at her feet. A rare sign of esteem reserved for heads of state. The applause that followed swept the hall, but in her eyes, you saw humility and resolve. She accepted the honor, not as a reward, but as a responsibility. Then curiosity stirs. Why would presidents and monarchs converge to honor a princess? What had she done to command such recognition? What event, what quiet influence, had propelled her beyond expectation? To answer that, we journey back to her upbringing. Born into royal lineage, she was never merely a figurehead waiting in the wings. Her days were filled with diplomacy tutors, language immersion, cultural exchange programs. Yet those are basics for many royals. What set Leonor apart was how she lived those lessons, visiting remote regions, listening to unheard voices, forging relationships not out of protocol but genuine connection. In her teenage years, she launched initiatives quietly, educational outreach in underserved communities, cultural bridges between regions, dialogues on youth mental health. None of it flashy, none of it for headlines. But each effort built bridges. Each effort gathered attention in small, meaningful ways. Now, as she enters this hall, all those quiet efforts converge. The medallion is not simply for royalty, but for service, empathy, and leadership already emerging. The crown she will wear as the visible symbol, the unseen crown as the trust she's earned. Inside the hall, subtle human moments ripple. A glance from her mother. A gentle nod from her father. Her siblings lining a corridor, offering hushed encouragement. These are the invisible threads that hold royal life together. In that tension between public honor and private support lies the human heart of monarchy. But there's more, and this is where curiosity deepens. In private meetings earlier that day, presidents whispered not only congratulations but proposals of partnership. Invitations to collaborate, to speak, to lead initiatives across borders. Leonor was not just being honored, she was being activated into global influence. As the crown is placed, she pauses. You hear the soft intake of breath. Time seems to pause. The weight of the crown is real, not heavy in the physical sense, but charged with symbolism. In that pause you feel it, the weight of history, expectation, promise. And then, a new question: will tradition constrain her, or will she transcend it? The crown is centuries old. The institution resists change. But Leonor's recognition by presidents suggests she may be a bridge between royal tradition and modern leadership. Speeches follow. Leaders speak of legacy, diplomacy, unity. But when Leonor speaks, she does not recite platitudes. She speaks of service, listening, forging paths together, with humility but certainty. Her voice echoes in the hall, and you realize, this is not ceremony. It's a moment of beginning. Behind closed doors after, she meets with a select circle of ministers, foreign envoys, cultural leaders. They speak in hushed tones of policy, youth engagement, sustainable development. Leonor is no longer passive, she is interlocutor. She listens, questions, offers ideas. She is already a player. Then tension surfaces. Some traditionalists in the royal court bristle at change. Quiet resistance manifests in protocol debates, seating order, who speaks first. Subtle power plays. She must balance authority with respect, innovation with reverence. The negotiation is delicate, the stakes high. Outside, crowds gather. Flags, cheers, banners. Social media erupts. Some praise her every gesture, others question whether a princess can truly hold influence. But the recognition by presidents and kings gives her a legitimacy few expected. She is not just a figurehead, she is a presence. Curiosity shifts. What will she choose to do next? Will she remain in ceremonial roles or expand into leadership? Will she travel widely, take up causes? Each answered question births another. How will she handle conflict, dissent, the burden of expectation? That evening, in private, she writes in her journal. Reflections on the day, gratitude, anxieties, hopes. She confides in trusted mentors, who remind her that power is tempered by character. She rests, knowing that the next day, the world expects movement, not mere speeches. Over the following days, announcements emerge: a new foundation, cross-national education programs, alliances with NGOs. Each is early evidence that this event was more than spectacle, it was the launch pad for influence. People watch her travels, her visits, her conversations. Each act becomes a signal. Through it all, the human side remains visible. She laughs when children call her, Your Highness. She pauses to greet an elder speaking softly. She lowers her crown slightly when embracing someone. In these small gestures you see the heart behind the title. By the close of this narrative, we see a transformation. Princess Leonor is no longer just royalty honored by presidents and kings. She is a figure of purpose, a living bridge between tradition and progress, a leader tested, human, and respected. Her crown sits firmly now, but it is her character, empathy, and vision that will define her reign. The applause may fade, but the story lives on. For every gesture, every decision, every connection will shape the legacy she was honored to carry. This is not just a ceremony. It is the beginning of a new chapter, one where a princess is honored not just by crowns and titles, but by global trust, influence, and the promise of a future she must now help write.